Welcome to the StockMentor.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your stock mentor, Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. And what more do I have to say? What a great day to be trading. We talked about maybe a potential move back up, and we were kind of in limbo. And man, you know, it. I hope you guys had the spots marked, and I hope you had an opportunity to play this today. I've been preaching and preaching about the whole different levels on the different indices, and man, I hope you guys caught this today. A beautiful, beautiful move today in the markets on all of them. Once again, showing too that a lot of the earnings that came out were actually really good. So if you were holding a certain stock long, thinking, oh, they're going to blow away earnings and we're going to move up, you might have got burned today. It's always a gamble holding over earnings. Even good earnings with great forward guidance can push a stock back down again. So it's always a gamble to hold over earnings. Hope you guys didn't get caught in that. For those of you that were patient, you got a great entry today. We did not gap down. It was great. We had more of a kind of a flat start to the day. You can see this on the Dow. This level held, and the 20 on the 60-minute chart held here. You're going to see this pattern kind of a lot where the moving averages on the 60-minute charts held very nicely today, and a rush to the downside. This break of 10,500, you can see the bulls start to get out, the bears start to pour in even more, and we should have seen at least a pause down here at the 10,425. No such luck. Like a hot knife through butter. Ran through it, came back, retested it a few times, so now this support is holding as resistance. And this is the way the bear market works, guys. You walk up the stairs when you move up in the markets, and you completely fall flat when you go down. So is this the next big move? Well, we have a very good start on things, I will say that. It's not confirmed yet. We still need another maybe day or two of trading to find out exactly where this is going to go. But man, this is a very good start on the potential pullback, maybe a larger move by the bears. We'll just wait and see. This is a great start. For any of you that got short at these levels I've been giving out, you're in very, very good condition. And when I'm done here, I am going to do a very quick subscribers video, which I don't typically do on Thursdays, but I'm going to do a very quick subscribers video in lieu of what we saw today. And I'm going to be telling them or giving them recommendations on how they should be or what they should be doing to maybe play this particular market now that we've seen what we saw today. And I'm going to give them recommendations on if they caught the break of these major levels today and if they're short and holding, what they can do, or if they missed the move today, what their other options are as well to get in on this rally. And just through different levels, what they can be doing in the future to watch that. So yes, I know, shameless plug on my part, but if you're interested in that and want to know, feel free to sign up for the newsletter. $15 for a month, no commitment. You can get in and get out. Doesn't matter if it isn't working for you. It just isn't working. I'm not insulted by that, but you might want to give it a shot. This is going to be a good one that I do next here. So a break of this 10,500 slice through 10,400. Now what are we looking at? Well, ultimately the next level. We just got to keep going. Okay, well, pat on the back. Good for you. Glad you made some money. But what do we look at next? Well, we look for this 10,425 level to obviously hold now. And obviously on the retest of 10,500, we look for that to hold. And that could be a big one there. If 10,500 can hold, that would be a brilliant start for the bears in this move. The next levels to watch are 10,250 and really 10,200, which we can see here on the daily. We'll look for the break. Here was the break below the 20-day moving average, also breaking this particular channel line here. Really 10,500 is where I told you to really start looking to get more serious to the downside, and look what happened after that. A brilliant run down today. And more importantly, not only breaking, but closing below the 50-day moving average. That is huge, huge at this point to see it close below this for many different reasons. But this was huge to get it to close below this area down here. So let's see if tomorrow makes any difference. Let's see if earnings make any difference. They sure haven't so far, but we'll see if that makes any difference going forward. We want confirmation. That's what we're really looking for here, is confirmation in the markets. NASDAQ on a 60-minute also falling today. Not as strong as the other markets, though. I mean, the Dow was down like 2% today. Huge move down. Well, the S&P was 1.9 and the Nasdaq at like 1.12 is what it ended up being for the day. The NDX, which is just the 100 strongest of the Nasdaq, basically, is only down 0.93%. So still, Google, Apple, RIM, some of the larger ones kind of holding on here, maybe waiting for Google's earnings and to see if that makes any difference in the markets. So just barely below the 1850 mark, which is where I was talking about a more serious short. For those of you that short below 1850 here, didn't make much of a move for you today. Came back up and held this area. Still a move down, but not a major move down. Not like we saw in the other indices. However, look at this. Look at the daily breaking down through this. Now we've had 1 and 2 closes below the 20-day moving average. Still looking bearish overall for the NASDAQ. I would be looking for maybe a move down here to 1820, 1822. That would be obviously the next line I would see. 1818 is this line here. So between 1815 and 1818, I think, is where this little gap area is here. We'll be watching that. That's the really major area to be breaking for the Nasdaq if this move continues to the downside. From a weekly standpoint, look at how we've had another red candle so far. Still have tomorrow left, but no reason to think that we can't maybe close this one down ever so slightly for the week. I want to be careful here because this is not a major move on a weekly time frame. It looks very good from a daily and a 60-minute time frame. Looks like we've moved a lot, but overall you can see on the weekly standpoint, really not much, especially on the Nasdaq. 1900 is the top, 1850 is where we're at. So after a week, we've really only moved about 50 points. That's not a huge move, and this ultimately still looks like it could turn into a bull flag or a bull pullback, I should say, on the weekly time frame. We need larger breaks of these areas here, especially down below 18, and more importantly, closes below those areas. SPX on a 60-minute. Here was the break right here, 1130, which I'd been talking about. For those of you that took that break, obviously the most logical place to take first profits was right down here at 1115. And that was another area I brought up to you guys as being the next major level of support. So for those of you that were intraday traders, break below 1130 to 1115, 15 points. That's a fantastic run, and you would have basically you would have caught almost a brilliant entry here below 1130, and almost the perfect exit down here. If you're an intraday trader, you would have basically called the low of the day for all purposes here. So a great play down to here, but notice how we are holding. So 1115 being the next major line. Also being the 50 at 1114.52 with the low being 1114.84. So the 50's holding. This 1115 line up here is holding. This should end up being strong support. And a break below this would show continued weakness in the markets. That's why I'm waiting to see what we do here for a Friday. See if we get a confirmation candle down, or do we bounce a little bit here? Maybe we roll flat. Maybe we dip down a little bit only to close back above it, put in a hammer candle. These are all things to be thinking about coming into a Friday, especially when it gets to Friday afternoon. Let's see if the momentum starts to slow down in the markets. But be watching this line very closely. You can see it's not only the 50-day, but it's this previous strong area of resistance that we broke, retested, and now are coming back to retest only for the second time, where we had a ton of pressure on it back here in this area when we traded sideways for multiple weeks. From a weekly, looking the same way. Now we have put in, broke below last week's lows, and we're right back to this overhead. What was resistance now should act as support. If this thing breaks its way down towards this 1085 mark, which would be the 20-week moving average, this could end up having been just a jab or a FOBO, fake out breakout. The VIX confirming today, huge move up in the VIX. Look at that. For all of you that were holding options, you should be very pleased today with the move in the market, especially, well, particularly if you own puts on things. You not only made money on the move to the downside, you made money on the VIX and the volatility of it. Great day to, or a great time to own some options. Here we were down here, breaking above this level, coming back into these overhead. I'm not, still there is obviously fear coming into the market, but it's not overwhelming yet. So yes, this is a great start for the bears, but we've seen these quote-unquote great starts before. Let's be cautiously optimistic if you're a bear. Don't throw everything in. Don't, throw in the kitchen sink at this point. There will be other places to get in. Apple on a 60-minute coming right.